All right, and we are back here on the GSMC football podcast. And for the final part of the show, we are now going to preview the AFC Championship game between the Baltimore Ravens and the Kansas City Chiefs. This will be played in Baltimore. Again, this will be Patrick Mahomes' first AFC Championship game on the road. That was second road playoff game that he'll be playing in. Again, it's been quite some time since Lamar Jackson and Patrick Mahomes have played against each other. And that's what the next big rivalry was supposed to be. And then, Lamar Jackson's gotten hurt. Chiefs and Ravens haven't really played each other. So then it was like, Joe Burrow and Patrick Mahomes, Patrick Mahomes and Josh Allen. It's just so people kind of forgot about this, well, particularly in the media. At least that's how it comes off as. But so they'll be matching up for the fifth time now. Mahomes is currently 3-1 against Lamar Jackson. The Ravens won the most recent matchup, which I think the Chiefs could have very easily won. I think they kind of gave that game away. But, this is a big spot for Lamar Jackson and the Ravens. They're the one seed right now, like on paper, and, throughout the season, they have proved to be the better team. But the Chiefs, these last two playoff games are kind of reminding everybody, like, hey, we're still the Chiefs. Like, we could still win a Super Bowl, even in our not so best years. Because this was kind of a weird season for them. Because they haven't really been consistent on offense. Receivers dropping passes. I mean, the receivers led the NFL in drops. And Patrick Mahomes' touchdown to interception ratio isn't great. 27 touchdowns to 14 interceptions. That's high for him. But, they have a solid running game with Isaiah Pacheco. They kind of have a new identity there. Travis Kelce coming off a solid playoff game against the Bills. He's been dealing with injuries all year. And you hope next year he has a healthier season. With the Ravens, Lamar Jackson, 24 touchdowns and 7 interceptions. Has 821 rushing yards. Could be the MVP this year. And, the Ravens surrounded him with a nice supporting cast, drafting Zay Flowers, who's been nice in his rookie season. Odell Beckham Jr. has made plays for them. Isaiah Likely has done a nice job filling in for Mark Andrews since he got hurt. And he actually could be playing in this game, which would be huge for the Ravens. And, of course, running the football. With Gus Edwards and Justice Hill right now, Dalvin Cook, obviously, they added to the roster, and he ran it a little bit last week against the Texans. But the other thing, too, is, the Ravens in general, they've been healthy for the most part. They, of course, with the running back situation, J.K. Dobbins getting hurt. But other than that, Ravens have been relatively healthy. Lamar Jackson's been healthy. Most of the guys on defense have been healthy, and that's what's held this team back the last couple of seasons from, getting to the playoffs and getting further in the playoffs. Because they did make the playoffs last year, but Tyler Huntley had to start, and they could have won that game. So going into this game, you look at the Ravens injury report. So Marlon Humphrey, he's dealing with a calf injury. That's a big injury there, but he was limited on Thursday, so he's still questionable for this game. So we got to keep an eye on that. On the Chiefs side, Edwards, he got hurt in the game against the Bills. He was limited. Let's see. So Sky Moore could play in this game, possibly. We also got Pacheco. He actually didn't practice. It says he didn't practice on Thursday with a toe injury, but I anticipate he's going to play. Kadarius Toney, we'll see if he ends up playing in this game. Joe Tooney, one of their guards. He didn't practice. Pectoral injury, doubtful for the AFC Championship game. That's a big loss there for the Chiefs on that offensive line. Because obviously the Chiefs, they prioritized fixing up that offensive line after Mahomes was running for his life in the Super Bowl against the Bucs in 2020. And listen, this Ravens defense is really good. Looking at the league rankings for these two teams, so the Chiefs are 7th in passing yards per game. The Ravens are 21st. The Chiefs are 19th in rushing yards per game. The Ravens are number 1. So, they're going to try to run the football and wear this Kansas City defense down. And then points per game, Ravens are 4th. Chiefs are 15th. Then on the defensive side of the ball, the Chiefs are number 4 against the pass, giving up an average of 197.2 passing yards per game. Ravens are 8th, giving up an average of 218.6 passing yards per game. Both teams are middle of the pack at stopping the run. The Ravens are 14th, the Chiefs are 17th. And then points allowed, both defenses are top 3. The Ravens are number 1, and the Chiefs' defense is number 2. The Chiefs' defense didn't get off to a great start against the Bills, but they got important stops in that game last week, and they were ultimately able to win the game, of course, off of Bills' miscues. Obviously, missing the the field goal was huge. I mean, I thought when they went for the fake punt and didn't get it, I thought, all right, the game is definitely over right there. But then, of course, McCole Hardman had to fumble the ball out of the back of the end zone, and the Bills got it back, which you thought maybe the Bills lucked out, but they did not. Now, what to expect from this game? This is a tough defense that the Chiefs will be going up against, but they got Patrick Mahomes, so he's kind of like the equalizer in that. And Rashee Rice, has kind of become that number 1 wide receiver for them. He's been making plays for them in the second half of the season. The Mahomes seems to trust him. Kelsey had a good game, like I said, against the Bills, so he's going to be a factor. They're going to try to run the football with Isaiah Pacheco and Clyde Edwards-Helaire, more specifically Pacheco being the lead back. So I don't think the Ravens defense is going to shut down the Chiefs. I think this is going to be another game that's going to be very competitive. For me personally, though, I'm kind of going to revert back to what I said, before Lamar Jackson beat the Chiefs. If the Ravens fall behind, I don't know if they're going to, by multiple scores, I don't know if they're going to be able to come back. They were able to do it the last time they played the Chiefs, but that also came off of Chiefs miscues. Mahomes threw a pick in the game that kind of changed momentum in that. But again, that was 2 years ago. I think this game is going to be competitive throughout. I'm curious to see how Lamar Jackson will play against the Chiefs' defense, because again, the Chiefs' defense has been the strength of the team this year. And the Ravens, their offense got off to a little bit of a slow start. It was 10-10 at the half against the Texans, and the Texans, they scored a touchdown off of a punt return. Now you're going up against Patrick Mahomes, and this game, if you're going to want to win this game, you're going to have to, it's going to be a shootout, The Chiefs actually, what's the line now? I think it went up to 3.5 now, at least looking at CBS. So, yeah, the Chiefs right now are 3.5-point underdogs. I mean, I would take Patrick Mahomes with the points. I think this game is going to be really close. It actually, now, we talk about the NFC Championship game being clear weather. There is rain in the forecast for this game. Now, I don't think it's really going to matter for these quarterbacks because obviously Lamar Jackson can also run the football as well. Patrick Mahomes, I mean, I'm not worried about him in bad weather. I'm just not. But I think this game is going to be very competitive. Again, really looking forward to this game as well. It's tough. It's tough because, again, I said I own the right to change my pick, but I'm not going to do it. I have the Ravens going to the Super Bowl, and I'm going to stand by that. It's going to be a really tough game. I mean, I could see it going either way because the Chiefs, they turned on that gear, for the postseason, so they look really dangerous right now. I am a little worried for the Ravens just because they did get off to a slow start against the Texans, but then they just dominated in the second half. If they can establish the run and they could play their kind of game on offense, then you favor the Ravens in this game. But if they're getting into a shootout, that's where I get worried a little bit. But I like the Ravens to win a close ball game. I think it's going to be a field goal game. So I honestly would take the Chiefs with the points, but I think the Ravens are going to win. It might come down to a Justin Tucker game-winning field goal. But the Ravens have been the better team all year. And listen, for a lot of people, this is the last line of defense, from a Taylor Swift Super Bowl. So, a lot of people are really, hoping that Lamar Jackson gets it done. Because, I mean, the amount of edits that I have seen on social media, just calling out to Lamar Jackson to win this game on Sunday is unbelievable. I mean, all the Star Wars memes and Avengers memes and things like that. It's really funny. And that's the good side of the internet is, that kind of stuff. Um, but but again, I mean, I understand the negativity towards the Chiefs. And again, I've seen posts where it's like, when Mahomes first, started, everyone's like, oh man, I hope he, has a good career and things like that. Hope they beat the Patriots because again, they played the Patriots in the AFC Championship game. That was his first AFC Championship game, and they lost. And that was like, all right, we're sick and tired of the Patriots. Well, now it's like we're sick and tired of the Chiefs. But again, like, you got to appreciate it. You got to step back and appreciate, some of these great players because Patrick Mahomes is an all-time great. So we got to appreciate it while it lasts because, before we know it, he's not going to be here anymore. He's going to be retiring. I mean, we got a while before then, but I'm just saying, like, time goes really fast, So now, obviously, again, you want to see other people, get a chance to, win a championship, and Lamar Jackson, if he does that, he has a chance to do so. But he's got to slay the dragon. You got to beat this team. That's the Chiefs are going to be one of the final teams remaining pretty much every season with Patrick Mahomes. So yeah, you're gonna have to slay the dragon here, and can the Ravens do that? We'll have to see. I mean, I'm picking them, just because I have them going to the Super Bowl. I think they are the best team left overall in the playoffs, but again, well, the Super Bowl thing is different. Well, let's see if the Super Bowl teams I have get there, Ravens and the 49ers. But I think the Ravens are the best team that's left. But Patrick Mahomes is the best quarterback that is left. So we'll see. We will see, but it's gonna be a fun weekend. Really looking forward to these games. I'm gonna be locked in, and on Monday we will have our Super Bowl matchup. So, get ready. You're going to be on the edge of you're definitely going to be on the edge of your seat watching these games. I mean, there's going to be, I think at least one of them should come down to maybe a game-winning field goal possibly, or go into overtime. But we'll see, again, at the end of the day, just hoping for good games. But again, if Lamar Jackson, whatever happens in the AFC Championship game, the internet's going to explode because, if Lamar Jackson wins, everyone's going to be really happy that, they beat the Chiefs, or a lot of people are going to be happy. And then if the Chiefs win, a lot of people are not going to be happy. But for me, I'm hoping for a good game. And whatever Super Bowl matchup that we end up with, I'm fine with it. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the show for today. I thank you guys for tuning in for both shows if you did. Listening to me talk for 2 hours about two separate things. I appreciate it. We'll be back again on Monday. We'll recap the championship games. That'll, of course, be at 10:30 a.m. Eastern Time. And, that's pretty much it. So, again, enjoy the games. Obviously, this game here, Ravens and the Chiefs will get us started. And then you got the Lions and the 49ers after that. So, until then, I'm Kenneth Grunfelder signing off from the GSMC Football Podcast brought to you by the GSMC Sports Network. Have a good day. Have a good weekend. Enjoy the games. And I will see you guys on Monday. Take care.